Hello everyone, my name is Li Ying, and I'm a Master of Education student at the University of Hong Kong. Today I'm going to introduce you about my research proposal for effective pedagogical approaches for including students with SEN in mainstream classrooms. SEN is the abbreviation of Special Educational Needs. The term Special Educational Needs has a legal definition, referring to children who have learning difficulties or disabilities that make it harder for them to learn than most children of the same age. The growing demand for inclusive practices within mainstream schools has resulted in that teachers should be able to take direct responsibility for the individual learning needs of all pupils within the setting. Many children will have special needs of some kind at some time during their education. Some children are easily identified as candidates for special educational needs due to their medical diagnoses like low IQ and physical disabilities. But there are a lot of others who don't have any physical problem and their IQ are normal or even higher than their peers. However, they have more difficulties than most children their age with their schoolwork, communication, or behavior. Some students with SEN who have been noticed by teachers or parents are sent to special schools or voluntary organizations to get extra help from doctors, psychologists, and specialists, while others still go to normal schools and get integrated with their peers. In Hong Kong, on the principle of one curriculum framework for all, students with special educational needs, like their able counterparts, follow the mainstream school curriculum and are offered essential lifelong learning experiences. Teachers in Hong Kong sometimes have to face students with SEN in their classes, and they will not spend more time or focus on these students in classes, as they have to teach the curriculum as designed by EDB or schools for all the students. As the principle of one curriculum for all is quite new in Hong Kong, some teachers without special pedagogy for SEN students thus failed to manage them in classes, and these students became low achievers in certain subjects. Though there is a bunch of research had been done on how to educate SEN students and how to improve learning environment, there is little focus on pedagogies for managing and helping SEN students when they are mixed with normal students. This research will conclude pedagogy for teaching students with SEN in integrated classes. This study aims at concluding effective strategies for managing and getting students with SEN involved into classes to the maximum extent through observing and comparing to successful teachers and other to unsuccessful teachers' classes. Hopefully, these strategies will help teachers design better learning environment for all students, and the needs of students with SEN will also be met in mainstream schools. The main research question of this study is what kind of pedagogy can be helpful for students with SEN when they are integrated in regular classrooms. Also, I would like to take this chance to investigate how teachers maintain this pedagogical approach. In this presentation, firstly, I would like to briefly discuss my literature review. Then I want to introduce you about my research setting and participants, research design, and also data collection and analysis. At last, I want to mention about improvements and limitations and challenges that may happen in my research. Regarding the literature review, the existing literature suggests that students with SEN learn in various ways like their non-disabled peers, and it is important point that this is affected by relationship with teachers. Also, problems met in children due to teachers' factors can be optimistic outcomes, and that teachers are willing to accept their responsibilities for any mistaken manipulations they take. Teaching styles can be described as methods of learning and experiencing which are built from the strategy that also combines the individual behavior of the teacher. Studies showed that lower achievement students in particular benefit cognitively and linguistically from mixed attainment work groups in some problem-solving tasks. There is an important point that effective pedagogy for the mainstream may be derived from the SEN context. Thus, in order to develop an effective pedagogy for teaching SEN students in regular classrooms, special pedagogy for teaching SEN students should be the foundation, and more strategies of how to integrate this foundation pedagogy with the mainstream pedagogy needs to be discovered. What's more, teachers need extended opportunities to think through new ideas and to try out new practices, ideally in a context where they get feedback from a more expert practitioner and continue to refine their practice in collaboration with colleagues. In this study, how to help teachers to maintain the developing pedagogy will also be investigated. About my research setting and participants, 3 students with SEN, therefore teachers of different subjects. 2 of them are successful at teaching SEN students, and the other 2 are not so successful. They will be included in this study. So far, I have contacted a school to do this study. The 3 students are in the same class of Secondary 1 of Raymond D. College in Hong Kong. My research design are as follows. First, to get assigned approval from the principal of Raymond D. College. Second, contact the selected 4 teachers and persuade them to take part in this study and sign consent. Then, an informal classroom observation of each of the 4 teachers' class will be implemented, and after the classes, each teacher will be interviewed informally. Fourth, in the first round, I will observe each teacher's teaching in a specific class. The whole teaching processes will be video recorded, and each teacher will be interviewed after each observed class. After each round of observation and interview, I will analyze the collected data and have a discussion with the teachers. Next, develop a better pedagogy based on each teacher's previous pedagogy, and teachers will try to implement in the next period. Then repeat step 4 to 6 for 3 to 4 times. At last, conclude an overall pedagogy that includes all useful methods and strategies for teaching students with SEN in regular classrooms. In this research, video clips of classroom observation or interview records of 4 teachers, homework, assignment, test results, and teachers' assessment for the 3 SEN students will be collected as data source. Analysis methods taught in the course of methods of research and inquiry will be used. After talking to my supervisor, Dr. Tian, I realized that there are some improvements that I can make in my research. The first improvement is I can try to repeat as more times of step 4 to 6 as possible. And second improvement is consult more about applicable policies of teaching SEN students in mainstream classes. About the challenges. First, each student with SEN has different condition. Not all the SEN students have the same problem. As far as I know, among the 3 students, one is a troublemaker who is hard to be controlled in class. Another student has social problem, which means he has trouble in communicating with people it's hard to ask him to participate in group works. Second, it's hard to get all teachers to discuss with pedagogy, as I need to get all the 4 teachers to discuss pedagogy at the end of each round, and teachers in college can be very busy doing their own work. It might not easy to arrange a time to discuss each time. Third, exist relationship between teachers and students may influence. According to the literature review that I have mentioned above, the learning of SEN students is affected by relationships with teachers. As it has been the second semester since the students entered secondary school, the relationships between teachers and the students has already built. Whether it's good or not, it may influence the result of the research. Limitations. The first limitation is 3 months is not 3 months time is not enough to conclude a perfect pedagogy for teaching SEN students in regular classrooms. Second, comparison and improvement on for teachers' pedagogy will not cover all aspects of the pedagogy to teach SEN students in mainstream schools. Still, I have faith that this pedagogy can finally help both teachers and students with SEN. That's all for my presentation. Thank you all.